Konnichiwa, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about the deals we lost. Za eigo desu. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. This is the 5th year of the Sales Japan series podcast, broadcasting around the world from the Beverly Hills of Japan, Minato-ku, here in downtown Tokyo. It is chic central. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. I have my new book in Japanese, Za Eigo, and very shortly my latest book called Stop Wasting Money on Training will be available on Amazon. In this podcast, I want to help you to survive COVID-19. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentation Japan series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 307. Today, we're talking about what about the deals we lost. I'm a big fan of Victor Antonio, who is a sales coach in America. He has an excellent show called the Sales Influence Podcast. In a recent episode I listened to, he had some very interesting statistics. According to US research, salespeople, on average, close about 40% of the deals they are seeking. That means they lost 60%. But what happened to that group who didn't buy? The shocking component of this research was the fact that only 20% went with a rival offer in preference to our genius effort. That leaves 40% who didn't buy from us and didn't buy from the competition. So what were they doing? Victor mentioned that of that 40%, 10% didn't move because the price scared the hell out of them and they became immobile, frozen in the headlights. Okay, then we still have another 30%, which is a big group of buyers who didn't take any action, and the reason wasn't related to the price we offered. So what was the issue? Victor believes it was a matter of the value we were able to offer wasn't attractive enough for them to move. Price and value, as we all know, are not the same thing. The buyer needed to feel the size of the gain they would receive was worth it based on how they measured the gain. That gain could be measured in a number of ways. It could be reducing costs, speeding up delivery times for their solution, integrating with other solutions they already have, making themselves more attractive to the buyers, etc. One of the problems with Japanese sales teams is they have no clue about what the buyer values. How could that be? Simple. They don't ask questions. Or if they do, they don't ask the right questions. We teach sales to employees of Japanese companies who want to improve their sales efforts. When we get to the question design part, invariably, it is a new concept for most of them. They have been taught to get straight into the nitty-gritty of the spec, the data, the features of their solution. They are throwing mud up against the wall and trying to work out which bits will stick. So ridiculous. You wonder why on earth they would do it in such an ineffective way. Part of the reason is that professional sales is not well established in Japan, and most of the instruction is done by OJT, or on-the-job training. That is the blind helpfully leading the blind. For those who at least understand you need to be questioning the buyer to find out what they need, their questioning can be very shallow. They miss the hints, the flags, the arrows that point to dig here for the gold. They just skip on to the next question without finding out what the buyer needs at a deeper level. This is where the "what do you consider value" conversation is required. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Okay, today's show is being brought to you by, on the 14th of October, our Winning with Relationship Selling program. Most salespeople are not trained properly, or get no training at all, or they get trained by their mediocre boss, especially in Japan, very mediocre boss. So they just don't know. They don't understand. They don't have a methodology. They don't have an approach. They don't have a sales cycle. They don't have a roadmap to follow. They're sort of trying to make it up as they go along. They're ad-libbing, wasting a lot of valuable time and squandering a lot of great opportunities. We teach how to build a trust, how to ask the questions, how to present the solution, how to deal with the pushback, how to ask for the order, all that stuff, plus winning with relationship selling. Now, there's a hint: relationships. Building relationships with clients takes skill, it takes ability. It's people skills, it's communication skills, it's mindset. This is a great course because there are two great levers required here to get a sale. One is the skills in the pure sales component, and the other is the skill to build a relationship with the buyer. So this course brings you those two very, very key levers. On the 22nd of October, we're doing our Dale Carnegie course. This is our flagship course. The main modules spread over 12 weeks using time-space learning. The idea there is, between the classes, you get to practice immediately what you've learnt, because the whole thing about Dale Carnegie's training was always focused on the practicality, immediate pickup on something you've been taught, rather than just leaving it at a very high level, theoretical level. So between the classes, you get to practice and then come back and talk about how that went. You have lots of chances to give talks because you're presenting a lot, which helps with people often want to improve their public speaking communication skills. You learn leadership, how to get on with people, how to lead people, how to motivate people in this program. You learn about how to deal with your stress. And 1 in 5 people who graduate from this program tell me that their reduction in stress opened up a real faucet to a real spigot to tap into their potential, because they were holding themselves back because they were so stressed all the time. Their productivity just wasn't there. And then finally, it gives you a chance to change your mindset about what's possible for yourself. You are limited by your thoughts. You're limited by where you position yourself, and you're limited by the little pigeonhole. You've got yourself stuck in there. So this program gives you the option to change your mindset, change your self-belief, change your self-awareness, change your aspirations, change your goals, change your thinking about what's possible for you. So this is really a great program. On the 2nd of November, we'll be doing our high impact presentations course. Love this course. 2 days in the main modules. They come in on morning 1, they go out on evening 2, thoroughly changed. From an instructor point of view, that's so rewarding. It's so quick. It's a class situation, but all the training is done one-on-one. All the coaching is done one-on-one. It's phenomenal. So this is the type of program we all need to take, because we all need persuasion power, and this is where you'll get that persuasion power from doing this program. Check out our website, www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, that's the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Welcome back. Victor flagged another element, which was about the degree of perceived effort required to implement the solution we're recommending. I teach in a non-profit program called the Japan Market Expansion Competition, where teams of young people from different companies work on a client's business and come up with a business plan for them as part of the competition. I was also a paying client of this JMEC program, but I threw the plan away. The reason was just this issue of the effort we would have needed to implement the plan wasn't proportionate to the gains we have made. Our counterparts in companies are the HR department, and we notice that in most cases they seem overwhelmed by the amount of work they have to get through for the number of people allocated to it. They're often very uninterested in doing things to help their companies do better because they know the amount of work they will have to do will go up dramatically. Another friction point can be the amount of internal coordination needed to adapt to a new supplier. We know that the Ringi-Seido system of all related divisions signing off before the change is made requires a lot of agreement internally. It may be that our offering isn't sufficiently compelling to overcome that internal friction, stopping the deal from progressing. When we are presenting the solution, we can often get caught up in features, benefits, application of benefits, and evidence, and forget about the issue of friction becoming the progress through the labyrinthian corridors of internal decision-making. We need to ask, if you're able to implement our solution, are there any likely friction points we need to consider in order to reduce or remove potential issues? They may not be willing to share that amount of information in the first meeting, but we should keep asking the question on subsequent calls in order to find out what we need to do to tweak our suggestion to get through the internal barriers. If we can reflect on the deals that didn't happen, we may be able to better prepare ourselves for future sales calls. We can head off rejection possibilities before they arise by presupposing what is required on their side to see the deal come to fruition. Thank you for joining the Sales Japan series. If you found the program useful, please work on your karma and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you've learned today. Use it and go out there and survive. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.